Not everyone around you is your friend. How fake people get exposed in hard times. Not everyone who walks with you is meant to stay in your life. Some people are only seasonal, meant to reveal lessons, not loyalty. Life has a quiet way of showing you who is real and who was just passing time with you. What feels like friendship in comfort often becomes distance in difficulty, and what feels like loyalty in ease often disappears in pressure. The truth is that hard times do not create fake people, they simply reveal them, and when the mask falls you finally see who was standing with you and who was only standing near you. There was a young man who believed everyone around him was genuine. He shared his dreams, his struggles, and his future plans with the people he called friends. He laughed with them, trusted them, and even defended them when others questioned their loyalty. Life was good, and he never questioned who stood beside him because everything felt easy. But life changed quickly when he lost his job and his stability disappeared. The same people who used to call him every day slowly became silent. Messages went unanswered, calls were ignored, and plans were suddenly too busy to include him. At first he thought it was just coincidence, but as days turned into weeks the silence became clear. One by one they started to disappear, not because he did something wrong but because he had nothing left to offer in return. The same voices that once encouraged him now echoed only in memory. The same faces that once promised loyalty now avoided his struggle. In his loneliest moments he realized something painful but necessary. Not everyone is meant to go through fire with you. Some people are only meant to walk with you in sunshine, and that is where the difference between real and fake becomes clear. As he began to rebuild his life from nothing, he stopped chasing people who had already chosen to leave. He focused on growth, on healing, and on becoming stronger than his situation. Slowly new people entered his life, people who did not care about his success or failure but about his character and his heart. These were the ones who stayed when there was nothing to gain. They showed up in silence, in struggle, and in support without expecting anything in return, and for the first time he understood what real friendship actually means. He also learned that losing fake friends was not a loss, it was a protection. Every empty chair, every silent call, and every broken connection had made space for something better, something real, something stronger. As the young man continued his journey, he began to understand that not all distance is betrayal. Some people drift away because they were never meant to build with you, they were only meant to pass through your chapter, and once their role was complete they naturally faded away. He started paying attention to actions instead of words, because words can be easy but actions always require effort. He noticed that the people who truly cared did not need constant attention or perfect conditions to stay connected. They showed up even when life was not exciting, they checked in even when there was nothing new to celebrate, and they listened even when they had their own problems. That was when he began to see the difference between interest and investment in relationships. The young man also learned that pain has a way of refining your circle. It does not just hurt you, it filters your life. It removes what is weak and strengthens what is real. Even though it feels heavy at first, it eventually brings clarity. There were nights he sat alone thinking about everyone who left, and at first it felt like rejection, but over time it turned into reflection. He began to ask himself why he needed so much validation from people who were never truly loyal. He realized that some of the people he missed were never as important as he once believed. They were just familiar, and familiarity can sometimes feel like friendship even when it is not. As his mindset shifted, he stopped begging for attention and started building self-respect. He understood that the wrong people do not leave because you are not enough, they leave because they were never meant to stay. He began to focus on growth, reading, learning, working on his goals, and becoming someone he could be proud of without needing approval from others. Slowly his life started to change, not because people returned but because he no longer needed them to validate his journey. He also discovered that silence from others is sometimes the loudest answer you will ever receive. It reveals where you stand in someone else's priorities without a single word being spoken. Instead of becoming bitter, he became better. He chose growth over revenge, peace over drama, and understanding over anger. Every time he felt the pain of being left behind, he used it as fuel to move forward instead of staying stuck in the past. He learned that some doors close not because you failed but because you outgrew the environment behind them. And in that growth he found a new kind of strength, the strength to walk away from anything that no longer matched his value. Over time he no longer saw the loss of fake friends as a scar but as a turning point that redirected his entire life towards something better. Life will always reveal people through pressure, not promises, and time will always expose what words try to hide. Do not be afraid when people leave your life in difficult seasons, because their exit is often your protection, not your punishment. The right people will not need perfect conditions to stay, they will stay because of loyalty, not convenience, and when you understand this, you will stop chasing the wrong people and start valuing the right ones.